When I say Pelosi's crew is still running the streets, I mean it. Literally. They just robbed Kristi Noem in broad daylight and walked out with enough information to break into the Pentagon. You guys gotta check this video out.
The U.S. Secret Service is facing new scrutiny after Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem became the victim of a brazen robbery. DHS officials say Noem was eating dinner at a D.C. restaurant when a masked thief snatched her purse. Personal items like her keys, her DHS badge, driver's license, and passport were stolen. The bag also contained $3,000 in cash. The suspect hasn't been found, and now there's growing questions about how Secret Service allowed the thief to get so close.
This is not regular at all. The left runs the country like the mob. And this is them sending a message right here. Literally, this is them sending a message. You're not dealing with regular street crime anymore. You're dealing with state-sponsored street theater at this point. Let's keep going, guys. This is crazy.
You know, Charles, I want to go to you on this because you've brought up the existing crime epidemic in our country already on the show. You know, the big question is this, another case of petty crime, or is there some sort of organized crime, given that it was Kristi Noem? Let's just stick with it being another theft in D.C. D.C. had 4,000 incidents of theft in 2024. I mean, what do you make of this?
No, I think it was just another brazen, random attack, and the confidence that these thieves have in certain areas, right? That A, they'll get away with it, and B, if they get caught, they'll get away with it, right? I mean, it's just it's so brazen and so frightening, and we've already seen a massive flight out of major urban areas because of this. This is probably the primary reason. And just because it's her, I'm hoping that maybe, and it often doesn't happen, but maybe this will galvanize even more of a sense of urgency that, hey, this is a problem, but I just never see, I just don't understand how it never really truly gets better. I hear the lip service, but what's happened over the years is they've somehow made the criminals the victims, right? For instance, if he had a gun, it would have been a gun violence. It wouldn't have been a person with a gun. Guns don't commit violence. People commit violence. There's no such thing as gun crime. There's people versus people crime. You can use a gun, you can use your hands, you can use a rope. So after all of these years of placating and coddling the criminal behavior, they can't get rid of it.
Well, and Harris, why do you think that is? If you have brazen theft happening like this, I mean, with Secret Service in the room, like how can conservatives leverage this to put in forth, stronger policies to help, kind of quell some of this?
Well, I think.
So really quick, what are you guys thinking? If the left really did this, do you think that they sent this person in there and now he has enough ID to start a war if he wanted to? Do you think they sent someone in there so now it looks like it's Trump's fault? I don't know. Because it seems like they're trying to do everything they can to tear Trump down, and it's all kind of revolves around him, whether you believe it or not. Everything has a deep meaning.
They just have to stick with the ones they already have. I have a lot of questions about this. How close was the purse to her? And if somebody can get to the purse, they can get to her. Like, I'm thinking bigger picture now. She's not just a regular citizen.
Sure.
She's in charge of the Department of Homeland Security, keeping our nation safe. And so if her belongings, like a passport, that's important. The cash is one thing. I mean, I don't know that can't be replaced in her instance.
Passports, DHS cards.
I mean, you talk about access, and the accountability on this is really what I'm concerned with. Yeah, there's random crime. She's not a random person. Not at all. And so I want to know, how close was this person, her possession? Did this person who stole it also have access to her? That's what I care about at this point. Because we've had 2 assassination attempts on the current president when he was running. And I don't want to broaden this out and get everybody scared when they sleep at night, but I'm kept up at night by, okay, well, who hates the country enough to try something else? I want to get to the bottom of who took it, how close they were. We need more information.
Well, that's the other side of this question.
They have cameras, agents, surveillance gear, all types of stuff nowadays. AI. Either this guy's Batman or someone doesn't want him to be found. Which do you think is more realistic? Come on, man. They just play so vividly and right in front of your face.
Right, Rosanna? Is this a Secret Service failure, or was this just a random incidence of petty theft? But here's the other question, though, too. Is Secret Service only on her? Are they also in charge of protecting her possessions? Say her purse was on the other side of the restaurant.
Well, apparently, I've heard some reports from D.C. reporters who said that her bag was down by her foot.
So close.
It was
very
close.
close.
It was under her foot.
Wow.
And apparently, according to reports that I've seen in the D.C. area, this man was at another table right nearby and somehow used his foot to somehow swipe that bag underneath her foot with 2 Secret Service keeping an eye on her.
Doesn't
And
make
then he
sense.
casually walks out of the restaurant. It's very suspicious. There's something very weird there that 2 Secret Service are not keeping an eye on everything. I can understand that, Kristi Noem's there with her family, her grandchildren. She was distracted. She probably had her foot not on her bag,
Right.
but it was by her foot.
Molly, with the 2 incidences on their attempts on the president's life, does this make you even more concerned?
Well, I was just thinking, I have all these questions about Kristi Noem, and I would love answers. I'm still waiting for answers from what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. Like, it is just by the grace of God that President Trump was not killed. We all saw what happened there. And we have not had anywhere near the level of information we need about how that happened, who was involved, what's being done about it. And it really makes you think that there has not been the accountability needed at the Secret Service when you have another incident like this that, just happened under their protection.
The perpetrator deceased there, Ryan Ruth's case went through the courts just last week. In that case, of course, they can adjudicate and go through the courts, so we find out more information. But the fact that that was at her feet means that it was close to her person.
Yep.
Yeah, that's some information you can use.
Still
This
a
case
lot
is
of
not over.
questions, not very many.
Guys, this honestly wasn't a robbery. This was a message, and the message is clear. If you stand with Trump, don't get too comfortable. Before we end this video out, guys, let me ask you a question. If Kristi Noem was a Democrat, do you think this would be called a random robbery, or do you think it's called a U.S. soil domestic terror, something around there? Let me know what you're thinking down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and as always, let me know what you act too. We're out.